is August 22nd. He is Mark Elfenbein. I am Will Chambers. Welcome in. It's the Lounge with Elf and Willy.
Hi.
TheLoungeWithElfandWilly.com.
We're in a new situation.
We do. This is what we call the Situation Center here at Frito Nation Studios in Allen, Texas. Doing a little bit different with the video today, and so if I start sweating more than usual, we have more lights on. Anyway, welcome in. We've got another packed show here today. So we are 2 weeks away from Bears-Packers on Thursday night to start the NFL season.
I like how you did that. Because I thought you were just going to say Bears because you love the Bears.
Right.
But I forgot that the Bears and the Packers are the opening game this year on Thursday night, because normally it's the Super Bowl rematch, right? Or the Super Bowl winner against somebody.
No, you're right, David. They're kind of doing it differently every year. They do something like that. I think there was a couple years in a row where they were doing the Super Bowl rematch. Or maybe it was just 1 year. But I know that they have something in that opening weekend, or just something that's an exciting matchup to look for.
Dude.
But they're doing these rivalries, like the Bears and the Packers last year were on Sunday Night Football.
That's delicious. I love it.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
But we've got football coming up this week. College football is here. And did any of you even know about it? There's usually more hype coming into a season. I think maybe it could be the fact that, well, you know, it's Clemson and Alabama again at the top, and you know, Ohio State's right there and all that. I don't have a problem with that, but I get where the monotony.
Well, here's this is what I've always kind of tried to understand. You love college basketball, right?
Of course.
So do I. In college basketball, you can have great games all year long. But when you get to the Final Four, I don't give a damn if Kentucky and North Carolina and Duke and Michigan are in there and they've all lost 9 games. I don't care.
Well, 9's a high number, but right.
But you know,
if it was coming for me as a Kentucky guy or a Duke or somebody, you'd be like, wow. But you're absolutely right. You got it.
And that's the thing that frustrates me about college football. There is something where, yeah, undefeated this team against undefeated that team, that's great. But I think I would love college football somehow to do it, and I don't know if they ever will, just because Oregon or Auburn lost that early game, they're not out of it.
I agree.
Because the reason why you see Guacamole State playing Alabama early is because they want to win.
Yeah.
And Yutzput State playing Michigan, they all want to get their records great, so when it matters, they got a chance to stay in the top 4 and get to the championship round.
No doubt about it.
But the problem is the way they have it set up, it's going to be this way. I would love, because you can't do it with football. You can't have games played on a Thursday, Saturday, Friday, Sunday.
Exactly.
It's impossible.
Right. Well, and there's not enough. It's a great point too, because every year we go through the same thing, and I make these same jokes when it comes to November and December, where my beloved fan base will lose their freaking minds over a game that Kentucky loses to whomever or doesn't play very well. And I'm like, are you not used to it? Do you not understand how this works?
Yeah.
We have freshmen playing every single year. They're going to look like crap and all over the place in November and December and look very athletic, but can this team do the blah, blah, blah? It's the same questions every year. And then guess what? February and March, they look great.
Yeah.
They make it to an Elite Eight and probably a Final Four.
That's it.
And you don't get that in college football, and especially when you have these teams that maybe lose earlier in the year.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you're like, is there a better team playing right now than, say, Ohio State's been left out at times when they've played really good. At times that they've gotten in where other teams like Penn State or Iowa or other groups have, looked really, really good, but there's no spot for them.
I know, and that's the frustrating thing. I would like it to be where college football has it, where you can lose a game or two early and it's not over.
Yeah.
But when Alabama and Clemson are, like you said, are so much more dominant than everybody, and they're playing Yutzput State and Guacamole State, they're going to be 11-0. I don't know how they're going to ever fix it. I mean, I know we have it the way it is right now. I still love college basketball. I don't want it ever changing. But college football, I'd like somehow, because we can see more early great matchups like Miami and Florida in the season, and it's okay if you lose that first game. You're gonna have a chance later on in the season to get into the tournament.
We are going to be hitting a lot of fantasy topics. Remember last week we had out of Elf's Oven the hot Elite 8 rookies to pick on your fantasy team. He's got his 8 sleepers. I don't understand how some people have certain draft strategies. We know the people that do it every year when you do your drafts. I'm going to just totally debunk everything coming up. We're going to have a big fantasy section coming up in a little bit. Also, one-hit wonders, the best ever, the top 10 at the quarterback position.
Ooh.
You will not believe who made this list. When we got here today, I asked you if you had seen the list. It was on ESPN.com. He has not seen it. You're not going to believe who made this list. I was stunned. We're going to finish with that today. But first and foremost, theloungewithelfandwilly.com, at IamElf on Instagram. Excuse me, on Twitter.
That too.
At ElfBacon.
ElfBacon.
That is your Instagram.
Yes.
At YourBigWilly on Instagram. At BroadcastWilly on Twitter. Hit us up. Get us with your questions too, especially if all those fantasy stuff that we've gotten to over the last couple of weeks. And of course, this episode brought to you by CBD American Shaman. When you check out, be sure to put the code in WC10 because if you do so, you get 15% off. You're welcome. Now, some breaking news that was happening this morning came from our boy Ed Werder, also part of Frito Nation Productions, reporting that the team's latest offer, that team being the Dallas Cowboys, to Ezekiel Elliott comes in between the two deals, that it's in between Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley. We talked about it last week. This doesn't come as any surprise that was going to be the realm in which that was likely going to be where the team wants to be. Now, it's whether or not Zeke is going to accept being one of the top 2 highest paid running backs, or if he's going to continue to hold out and wanting to become the top running back in the league.
It's so hard because when a player is that great and he can dictate you're winning and losing that year and the several years following, you can be as hardball as you want. But you got a whole bunch of people in your ear going, look, he's the reason we win. Look, you want to go play for another team? Go ahead. You know, you're a Dallas Cowboy. You got 2 years left on your deal, Zeke. Okay? I know you want more money. I don't know many people that have a bad year and go back to Jerry and go, you know, I didn't play too well. Here's $10 million back.
Yeah.
Never seen that.
Right.
But I sure do see a player go, you know, I played a lot better. I'd like more money.
If Zeke turns this down, I think that there is a very real possibility that his time as a Dallas Cowboy is over, is done. What the Cowboys have done, and especially Jerry Jones, in sticking his neck out so many times and going to defend Zeke in New York, do you think he wants to go up to New York every time and talk to them about, you know, going up there and having to get on, you know, walk up on the carpet because of Zeke again?
Well, Jerry was pissed off. Jerry was pissed off that the reaction about him, you know, Zeku, and how he got kind of attacked by Zeke's people and Zeke's agents about their disrespect, and boy, when he looked at the camera and he goes, look, I've earned the right to poke fun at Zeke.
And then he says,
I've earned that
right. He underscored it. He goes, man. I want to be very clear on that. Yeah. I have earned the right. That is what he's trying to say. Anyway, welcome to life covering the Dallas Cowboys.
It's amazing.
It is always something. Okay, so last week out of Elf's oven, it was fresh out. Not quite as fresh this week because it was fresh out last week, but it was so good that the leftovers had to remain until this week. And so we do have Elf's Elite 8 these are the sleepers.
Now, and here's the beauty of this is you could disagree. Okay. Because some people might think they're not sleepers. And I just kind of jotted them down. I thought, you know what? These are guys that are going to be on everybody's fantasy football team, but they might be better than you think. You might not be thinking about them, which is usually what a sleeper is.
Correct.
Or you might think about them. Who knows?
Okay.
So my number 8 sleeper is a wide receiver.
Okay.
And he plays in the AFC. He played in the Big 12 in college football at Oklahoma State.
Would it be James Washington?
That is correct. And the reason why James Washington is going to be gigantic is who's not with the Steelers anymore that's causing a ruckus in Oakland? Because he wants his own helmet. Antonio Brown is gone. So now you got James Washington, but everybody's talking about who? Schuster. Juju Schuster's the guy. Okay, but James Washington.
I like it.
Number 8. If you're listening, sleeper means you have to take him earlier because you're a sleeper and you sneak him in.
Okay.
Just saying.
I like to sit on the sleepers.
Number 7. Houston Texans. Wide receiver. Kiki Kuti. You can have that with garlic bread. It's fantastic.
It is. It's very good.
But Kiki Kuti, I mean, a little wide receiver, quick in the slot. You got Hopkins on one side. You got Fuller on the other. The only thing Kuti doesn't have is the dreadlocks.
Correct. Which probably makes him faster.
Much faster.
I think, too, and we're going to get into this coming up in a little bit, about, in constructing a team, forever it's been, okay, you got to take a running back first. You really should take them in your first 2 picks.
Right.
But it's become such a passing league that I think you sneak up those wide receivers a little bit more. And what's good about these is that they are guys that you should be able to get in the, 6th, 7th, 8th round.
Right.
You maybe slide them into a flex position, and all of a sudden,
got a guy's got
to
making some plays. All right, number 6 on Elf's Elite 8 Sleepers in Fantasy Football, another wide receiver. Goodness gracious.
Of course.
We're on track. Arizona Cardinals. He also played in the Southeast Conference. He was a kick return, punt return, wide receiver kind of guy. He's not Jewish. He's Christian.
Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk.
Okay.
Do you like how I did that?
I do. I like that.
See, I thought there was going to be more Judaism today. I thought I'd slide that in there.
I appreciate it.
So Christian Kirk, now with Kyler Murray as the quarterback, he's going to be one of those guys that lines up. Murray breaks a playoff, scrambles, and what does Kirk do? Take off. I'm throwing it 55 yards. Run.
Yeah.
All right, he's number 6. Number 5 is another
wide receiver.
Ladies and gentlemen. Denver Broncos. We saw him playing the other night on TV. Actually caught a nice pass from Joe Flacco. Cortland Sutton, former SMU Mustang. So he's number 5. Number 4, this is going to make him happy that his name is on the list. But I don't know if he's going to be happy that I have him as a sleeper. Quarterback.
There couldn't be. Mitchell
Trubisky. And the reason I have him as a sleeper is I just think there's so many other quarterbacks people think fantasy football and they're not thinking of him, but he's going to have a big year. I'm just telling you, he's going to throw 30 touchdowns this year. And he might run for 10.
Exactly.
Elf's Elite 8 Sleepers in Fantasy Football, number 3.
Okay.
Wide receiver. Dallas Cowboys.
Would he be a
Michael Gallup?
Oh, all right.
Michael Gallup, I think, is going to have a very nice year.
I am really a big fan of this list so far.
Michael Gallup is number 3. Number 2, a running back. I finally have a running back. He's in the NFC East, but he had a pretty rough injury last year, and he's back this year. But he also has a pretty outstanding running back that's been around for a while that's on the team as well. Washington Redskins, Darius Geis.
Okay.
Don't forget about him. I'm just telling you. I know Peterson's there and AD's got.
But is he? He's got to be running back 1.
I think he is.
Peterson isn't going to start.
I think this is the guy. But see, they're doing.
Let's be honest about what Peterson was last year. You know, right? Like it was great to see. He is a freak of nature.
He's a monster.
He's a monster. Yeah. If he does that again this year, I will do one of these shows in drag.
Oh, okay. I'll bring the lipstick.
You've always wanted to do that anyway.
I know. Like it's really not a
very impressive.
Big
there's fishnet hose I can bring you.
Good.
In high heels.
I mean,
if you're gonna go,
I ripped my last pair.
All right, and number 1 in Elf's Elite 8 Sleepers in Fantasy Football is another wide receiver.
I mean, you and I apparently have the same kind of thought process when it comes to fantasy this year.
Jacksonville Jaguar rookie. He's happy that Nick Foles is there, and everybody, including myself, mispronounced his name at draft. His first name is DJ. His last name is Chark. I thought it was Chalk.
Oh yeah, Chark. That's right.
This guy
from LSU.
He can fly.
I like it. So going back from 8 to 1, we've got these are fantasy sleepers. The 8 Elf's Elite 8. James Washington, the former Oklahoma State Cowboy with the Steelers, now with Brown gone and Juju Smith-Schuster there. Kiki Kuti.
Yes, wide receiver, Houston Texans.
And your favorite aperitif.
Him and Deshaun Watson are going to like each other for a while.
I believe it. Christian Kirk at Arizona. Arizona, if nothing else,
it's going to be fun to watch.
They're going to be excited.
Yeah.
David Johnson, especially with how Kyler moves around and can keep plays extended. Cortland Sutton at number 5 in Denver. My man, Mitchell Trubisky.
Yo, what's up, Mitch?
Here's the thing about Trubisky. And I know everybody like, well, you're just, you're slurping the Bears and all that kind of stuff, which is fine. Trubisky can get you all those basically free points with the yards that he gets rushing. He's going to be terrific, plus with Matt Nagy. Michael Gallup, I agree. From being down here and hearing what we've been hearing from all of our friends in media that have been following the Cowboys at training camp, practice, all that, Gallup's been terrific. Darius Geis, running back with the Redskins. I mean, I think if there was anybody, because nobody wants to pick up a Washington player right now because they're going to suck.
Yeah, Haskins is going to struggle.
I didn't even know if Haskins is going to start.
I don't either. I mean, because
man,
just got hurt. So.
And then the former LSU Tiger DJ Chark, now a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's it.
Now, there is a list that I came across, and we as sports fans, who doesn't love
got a list?
A nice list. ESPN put up the biggest fluke seasons for NFL quarterbacks. It was done by Aaron Schatz, and
I'm trying not to look.
Okay. Because there is a name on here, I could not believe that it was on here, but I thought it'd be fun to take you through.
Okay, take me back.
I'm going to start you with number one, okay? The biggest fluke season. And I was a little bit surprised by this too, only because we're a season...
These are all quarterbacks?
All quarterbacks.
Okay.
We're only a season removed from the fluke season. Be like, it was kind of a fluke because of his early on, his career, and then he had a breakout year with the Vikings. Not so much last year, but Case Keenum's 2017 campaign in Minnesota.
Yeah, had that Jim Valvano moment against
Really
the
did.
Saints. Remember that?
Yeah. Number two, my boy, Eric Kramer.
Eric with a K.
31 years of age in 1995 with the Chicago Bears.
With the Chicago Bears.
29 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
Okay, that's a fluke.
3,800 yards.
You're not that good.
He only had 2 seasons in his entire career that he threw more than 2,000.
Oh my God.
2,000.
What an outrage.
Eric Kramer.
Eric with a K.
The aforementioned Scott Mitchell from 1995 Detroit Lions. I didn't realize that he had that good of a season with the Lions. I thought that it had been after that one good campaign with the Dolphins that he pretty much sucked there.
I always thought it was Brad Lohaus with a helmet on.
Oh, man. Mark that for your obscure reference of the week. 4,300 yards in 95.
Oh, my goodness.
32 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. In 95, you had Eric Kramer running for 3,800 and Scott Mitchell for 4,300?
That's crazy.
In 1995, you don't throw for 4,000 yards back then in the NFL. 2012, RG3.
Oh, wow.
He did it himself. Nick Foles had an incredible 2013. This isn't the shocker for me, but it was a bit of a surprise, even though it totally was a huge outlier with him 27 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
That was ridiculous.
That great year that he had. But he didn't win a Super Bowl.
He can trump anything in terms of fluke.
Yeah.
Because you can call him what you want. He can have that fluke season, but he can wave this little flag on, I got MVP.
He's like, I got your Philly special right here.
Right, yeah. So
exactly.
He's good.
Number 6, as we start to get to ones that I'm starting going, Randall Cunningham.
Ooh, was this with the Vikings?
Absolutely. He
How about
came
that?
in because Brad Johnson had gotten hurt in week 2. And it was an MVP year, but I'm like, man, Randall Cunningham, did you realize he only went to 3 Pro Bowls? It was nuts.
Unbelievable.
Derek Anderson in 2007.
Derek Anderson, Browns? Was that Browns?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
with the Browns. He did have it. I mean, he had a good year, but
Okay.
it's the Browns. Don Majkowski, the Magic Man.
Magic Man, Green Bay Packers,
Yeah,
7.
he was the one that preceded Brett Favre.
Yeah.
At number 9, you've got Steve Berline, 1999 with Carolina Panthers. I was a little surprised there too because
Super
he
Bowl.
had some
Yeah.
pretty good years.
Yeah.
The 10, the last one, complete shocker to me.
Give me the team.
Dallas Cowboys.
I'm drawing a blank.
Dak in 2016.
Oh, really?
I'm
Oh,
like-
okay.
Wait, what? I can't sit here and tell you that Dak is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
He's not.
Dak has played 3 seasons in the NFL. He went 13-3 that year, but look at all the things that he's had to deal with ever since.
No running back. Got a running back. Don't have a running back. Don't have a left tackle.
Don't have a
starting
center. I mean, you go down the list, and I was like looking at Dak. We brought it up last week, so I'm not going to rehash the whole thing. That Dak's numbers are better than Carson Wentz. 13-3 that first year. Overall record of 32-16. So quick math without vacillating or hurting myself. You got 13 losses, 13 carry the night, sort of 19
into the third pound.
19-13.
Yeah.
Did I get that
Yeah,
right?
it's pretty good. Algebra.
Don't mind if I do here.
Yeah.
19-13 the other 2 years. That's hard for me to say that that's a completely fluke season, especially in the numbers that I just gave you. He was 7-1 down the stretch when Amari Cooper came on board. I was just unbelievably stunned. Before we go, I know that both of us wanted to send our best thoughts, wishes, prayers, all that to Babe. Yeah. Babe Laufenberg lost his son Luke this morning. It's a kick to the gut because we were both under the belief that Luke was turning things around, and certainly you know Babe a lot better than I do.
I know Babe a long time.
What a great man.
Knew Luke when he was growing up and watched Babe working with his sons forever. And when we first heard that Luke was sick, it's just horrific what can happen in life like that. But the news today that Luke lost his battle with cancer is just. It's gut-wrenching, and the Laufenberg family, we wish him all our best, and he's in a better place. He's not suffering, so that's the good stuff.
Yeah, part of what we like to call our media family here in Dallas, and Babe is a huge part of it, and a great guy, and so we're thinking about you today. We'll be thinking about you guys coming up this weekend, watching some college football. I know only 2 games, and then, hey, we record here in 2 weeks on NFL football.
Oh, NFL. I'm thinking of Texas LSU already.
That is like the outside of the entire Kentucky schedule. That is like the one I'm like, because LSU is my sleeper national champion.
They're going to be very good.
And Texas, this is,
This is Sam's champ. This is it. Yeah. Are you the real deal, Sam? Is he a fluke or not? We're going to find out about Sam Ehlinger September 7th.
We'll find out a lot more. Again, www.theloungewithelfandwilly.com. I almost didn't get through that. We'll see you next week.